Loktargar, friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And today is a dynamic effort box squat and sumo deadlift day. I haven't put up any training videos, and you guys noticed I did this last month also for a couple days. Looks like 2 workouts missed, and it's because I actually am taking those days off. So basically what I've been doing, just to allow myself a break from my training, a break from my work, because YouTube is my job, I actually take every month a few days off in a row to where I don't film any videos. I don't even upload videos. You guys probably notice I just upload stuff and just walk away from it. And then I make all those videos live on a timer. And I don't train during that time. I take my break away from this. I feel like I need a vacation away from what I do here. And so that's what I do. And I treat it as a deload. I'm not saying I don't do any exercise, but I just play with stuff like some light kettlebells and chin-ups and crunches and, just light stuff. And it allows me to, just do whatever I want. Just basically active recovery. And I kind of take a break from thinking about training, from training everything else for just a few days. It's a few days. And then I come back to it. So we go right back into the normal schedule here. And so you guys are probably going to get used to this because you guys have probably noticed I've been doing this for a little while. I've been doing this for pretty much since the end of last year. It's just people don't always notice that that's what I've done. So what's going on with it? It allows me to recover. It allows me to refresh everything and then come back in and hit it hard. And like I said, I'm going to continue to increase the volume more and more. I got half of my glute ham raised yesterday. I was hoping I would have all of it because that'll let me start doing some GHRs. I'm going to start doing hyperextensions because I do abs every day and I do rear delts every day. I think I need to add hypers to that. So working on those muscles I need for stability, injury prevention, everything else, I think it'll be really valuable to me. And it'll give me one more posterior chain mainstay in my arsenal of training, right? It'll give me one more tool in my toolbox. Because at this point in the game, if I just get my triceps a lot stronger and my lower back, my abs, all that stuff, my whole posterior chain, everything's going to keep going up. They're pretty well my weak links. So I did 10 sets of the box squats today, 10 by 2. And I eventually want to bring this up to 12 sets of 2 before I try to increase the weight at all. And I did feel like I was losing a little bit of explosiveness as I went, but it made up for it on the deadlifts. And actually, I ended up not even doing good mornings today. I did so many sets of sumos that I felt like, look, I'm just going to pass the good mornings because hopefully I'll have my glute ham raise operational by the end of the week. I'm still trying to figure out where the second package is because I got half of it. And I've assembled half of it. I just don't have the bottom half. I got all the pads and everything. So I'll incorporate some of that, and that'll make up for it because I want to rotate through these different things, GHRs, good mornings, all that stuff. So these were okay. I felt like they were getting slower near the end, and I was almost worried that I'd lost all my speed strength till I got to the deadlifts. And you guys will see when I get to that went much, much better than expected. And I think for some of it, it's me trying to find my ideal foot placement on these box squats. Because here's what we need to remember. As far as all your levers and everything, whatever you get set that gives you the most speed is usually where you're going to be the strongest. So I'm still messing with these more and more, finding the right foot placement. And that's one of the benefits of things like dynamic style training and anything like this. It's really high set, low rep training. Lets you get more practice with setup. It gets you more practice with things like foot placement, grip placement, everything else to where you find your right levers. Because what people need to remember, we can argue that, well, finding the best levers doesn't necessarily give you the most muscle by lifting more weight. That's true. That is true. But it does help you get stronger. It does help you get better at these things, and it certainly doesn't reduce. It doesn't reduce hypertrophy, right? And if, we're moving a heavier weight through the same range of motion, can be beneficial for strength and size to some extent. It's again, good way to get everything dialed in perfect. So for me, I'm still finding really what I think is going to be my ideal foot placement on these box squats. Because eventually that might carry over to a similar style back squat, right? And that's where, again, this stuff pays off, is finding those perfect angles. Because even now I'm going wider than I go on a back squat. I'm going quite a bit wider than on a back squat. So I'm almost wondering if, for me, a wider stance squat might eventually be the way to go. If I get to the point to where my box squat is hanging really closely with my back squat, and I'm using the wider stance on the box squat, what does the guys like Louis Simmons and a lot of those guys say? That they notice that your box squat is going to be 10 to 15% less than your back squat. Raw. So, eventually it might be time for me to just change the mechanics that I get there over to my normal back squat. But we'll find out. I'm going to probably hit a max on the back squat and try to PR that again coming up on Monday. Sumo deadlifts. You guys see the narrower stance? What did I do? I had some people say that honestly for my levers I do need a narrower stance, right? And I agreed because I feel like I'm not getting the right pop off the floor on the sumos. So I played with my warm-up with a few different stances until I found the one to where the bar felt the lightest off the floor. Incidentally, what do you guys see on the camera? I didn't film it. I just did it and then started filming, and I haven't even looked at this footage. Notice my shins are pretty much perpendicular to the floor. They're 90 degrees from the floor at the bottom of the pool. That's my ideal leverage. It popped. These, even though it's speed work and it's supposed to be light, these felt so ridiculously light that I never slowed down. I ended up going 12 singles instead of just 8. It never slowed down. I kept my speed strength the entire time. It just exploded because I'm getting the pop off the floor. It just shot right up. And I didn't strap up. What have I been doing? About 5 heavy pulls, moderate pulls, whatever, with the hook grip, and then I'm going over to straps to save my thumbs. Today, my thumbs held out, and I decided to just keep pulling until I either got past 10 or up to maybe 12 singles, or until my thumbs gave out, or until it got really slow, and it never did. I got all the way to 12. 12 singles. I'm going to have to increase the weight on this. In fact, this felt so much lighter, even though it's speed work and it's supposed to be light. It felt so light that it felt almost too light for what I'm doing. I'm going to need to increase the weight on this next time. So, I think we found my foot placement for me in sumo. And it's not super different from my box squat, incidentally. So, this is going to carry over a lot because the box squats will help build my sumo. The speed pulls will build my sumo. My sumo will build my conventional. I'm going to keep deficit pulling for different maxes. I'm going to rotate through different heights for the heavy conventional. So there'll be mild deficits. Just again to get some slight training variation with a harder variation. And I think that and all this sumo work, I think my deadlift is going to eventually just skyrocket because that's going to be the goal of it. We want ideally to be able to pull heavy with either one. Like in a perfect world, I would be able to pull at least 600 either sumo or conventional, right? Sumo or conventional, and then it gives me access to both styles. And this is really going to let me work my hook grip because again, 12 pulls today with the hook grip. And my thumbs didn't chafe really. There's no tearing. I mean, they're a little blistery, and they are sore from it. But they're not as rough as they were last week with only doing 5. So my thumbs are toughening up. My hook grip is getting better. The speed is improving. All right, my deadlift is all going to come back. And I think, again, having access to that GHR and hyperextensions, doing the daily ab work, and once my hook grip is sorted, I think it's going to come along. I should have a respectable deadlift again this year. Definitely going to happen this year. Hopefully get the squat back up, which is coming along. We'll see where that's at on Monday. Everything's going good, And I'm glad I had a good workout today, guys. I really am. I'm in mourning right now. I'm not going to go into the details either, by the way, but I did lose a very, very close loved one this week also. I don't feel like making a video on it. I'm not going to make it public. It's not even going to be on my private Facebook, but I did lose somebody, and I am in mourning. And to come in and just get a good workout today was so cathartic. But what I will say in there real quick, any of you, depending on what your spiritual beliefs are, if you'll just, pray for the spirit of my loved one to find peace find the peace and death that they didn't have in life. I would greatly appreciate that. I would greatly appreciate that. I don't even care what your religious beliefs are. Prayer is a prayer. So I'd appreciate that if you do that. And I threw that in near the end, so only the people who really watch are going to hear that. But again, it was good to come in and just feel like I got a good training session today. I really needed that. I really, really, really needed that today. And there's just something sometimes about that. When you're going through turmoil, to just come in and get a good training session is so cathartic. Really is. Made me feel a hell of a lot better to just come in and do a bunch of sets. Skullcrushers, I bumped the weight slightly. I went ahead and did 3x10 with this. We're up to, 95 pounds. I know that's not super heavy. But working that long head, getting my triceps stronger, getting them bigger, and a fair amount of volume. And of course, tomorrow is going to be dynamic effort day. It's going to be the most tricep work I get in a week. But yeah, these went good. I could tell that I increased the weight though. Definitely feel the weight increase. And I think 3x10 on days like this, I think that works well for now. Like I said, I started with higher reps and more volume, and now we're down to 3x10, which I think is respectable. If I pull off a 3x10 at the end of several of my workouts every week that don't get quite the same tricep volume like my Friday does, I think that's going to give me the extra tricep work that I need. That's going to give me what I need to bring them up, because that's really weak points for me right now. I feel like things like getting my posterior chain strong again, my abs, my rear delts, spinal erectors, and triceps, I think for me right now is really going to make the difference. It's going to make the difference in just my overall strength. And it's going to help a lot. And again, that more strength, and even especially some of that lower body muscle, is going to get my metabolic rate higher. It's going to increase my energy turnover, which will help me further with recomposition. So yeah, all of it's good. It's good stuff. But here we are again about hitting my weak points. Weak points need to be trained every day. Again, you guys got to break that enhanced bodybuilder mindset that you come in and it's been one day really hammering a so-called weak point to focus on it. Well, you're not going to get any real growth out of that, because it's going to be done within a day. And all that extra volume in one day is going to actually reduce your growth window, because you got to recover from it. So it actually doesn't work without drugs that well. But coming in and multiple times a week, working on your weak point like this will actually make a significant difference, right? Because this is how you prioritize a weak point. If you want something to be a priority, you need to be training it 4 days a week, 5 days a week, something like that, if not more, right? You need to be hitting it all the time, because muscles don't grow for longer than at most 48 hours. At the absolute most, without drugs to facilitate increasing that window. They don't. So frequency and increased weekly volume is the key to bringing up a weak point. That's how you specialize and focus on something. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.